This video will guide you through 8 steps needed to write a purchase agreement. Drafting a purchase agreement is a frequently requested service on the Contracts Council platform, since buyers and sellers want to ensure they are legally protected when conducting a transaction. If you need to write a purchase agreement, this video is for you. Before we start, just a brief disclaimer. The following information is provided for educational purposes and in no way constitutes legal advice. For legal advice, we encourage you to consult a licensed attorney. This video will cover the purpose of purchase agreements, key terms to include in your document, and 8 steps to follow to write your agreement. We've also added a link below with information on lawyer pricing if you wanted to know the cost of hiring a lawyer. Now let's get started. Purpose of purchase agreements. Purchase agreements are legally binding agreements between a buyer and a seller. The purpose of purchase agreements is to clearly define the terms of the transaction, protect the rights of both parties, and ensure mutual understanding of the deal. Without using agreements, parties can open themselves up to legal issues. Some reasons why using a purchase agreement is important are as follows. 1. They create a clear agreement of transaction terms and conditions. 2. They protect both the buyer and seller's rights. 3. They lessen the possibility of transaction disputes. 4. They ensure compliance with relevant laws. And 5. They safeguard against potential liabilities and risks. What to include in a purchase agreement? There are common terms used in purchase agreements. Here are some you will find. 1. Names of the parties. The agreement includes the legal names of the buyer and the seller. 2. Description of the item. This describes the item being purchased, including any specific details to make sure it is clear. 3. Purchase price. This section specifies the amount to be paid for the item. 4. Payment terms. This section outlines the payment method and schedule due by the buyer. 5. Delivery terms. This states how and when the item will be delivered to the buyer from the seller. 6. Warranties. This section includes any guarantees about the condition or quality of the item being sold. 7. Contingencies. This sets conditions that must be met by both the buyer and seller for the agreement to be binding. And 8. Termination. This sets rules on how the agreement can be terminated by either party. Eight steps to writing a purchase agreement. Here is a list of 8 steps you can follow to draft your purchase agreement. 1. Review the commonly used clauses discussed earlier in this video or find a template online to use as a reference. This will allow you to know what to include. 2. Identify the key information you want to include in your agreement. This may include details about the item, purchase price, and payment terms. 3. It is critical to use clear and concise language that both parties can understand. 4. Once you've written your clauses, organize them so that they are logical. For example, you likely want to have the description of the item section come before the purchase price section. 5. Be sure to incorporate any applicable laws and regulations that may be specific to your state or industry. Note this may require research. 6. If you are unsure about anything, consider using Contracts Council's platform to seek advice from an experienced lawyer that works on purchase agreements. We've included a link in the description for purchase agreement lawyers. 7. Review and revise the agreement to make the language clearer and confirm you have included everything needed. And 8. Create a single document to serve as your purchase agreement and ensure both parties have access to it. Drafting a purchase agreement is a vital step in protecting both the buyer and seller in a transaction. If you need help from an experienced lawyer, feel free to search Contracts Council or visit contractscouncil.com and post a job to get quotes from lawyers to help you. Thanks for watching.